Welcome into Celtics Late Night. Ben Vallis here along with Jake Eisenberg. And Jake, the preseason is over. Almost went 5-0, but we got dicked by Grady Dick and the Raptors. How you doing, mate?
Doing real good. I'm sad that it's over. It's been a summer league. It just almost feels like the end of the regular season before the playoffs last year, where I almost didn't want the playoffs to start because these free vibes and feelings with no anxiety, no consequences. It's kind of like being able to get drunk or other stuff you can put in your body, and there being no consequences. You wake up and you feel good, but the regular season is coming. The anxiety, the idea of losing to the Knicks is coming. So I really enjoyed the preseason. I really enjoyed today's game. It's too bad to end it in a loss. Scott Foster, our guy, let us down at the very end of the game. Helped us get back in it, but Scott Foster couldn't quite get the W for us at the end, where he allowed Jordan Walsh to get hacked, brutally assaulted at the rim by...
Do you think he was fouled?
I thought it was close. But I didn't really think. I thought it was kind of clean from the replay that I saw. I didn't think so.
But I'll go into bat for Walshy any day. So let's call it a foul.
Officially, it was a foul.
Maybe we could start there. We're just going to talk about the game loosely. That's how we do it here on Celtics Late Night. Rudderless, no run sheet really to speak of. I've just got the box score and a couple of notes in front of me, but nothing too structured. But Jordan Walsh,
nothing more rudderless than saying you are rudderless.
Yes. Just call it out. Jordan Walsh feels like a good place to start. Maybe in terms of his role throughout the game, his continued presence in the rotation, and his sort of improvement, just tracking his improvement just through the course of the preseason so far. I feel like, for example, his defense was better in this game. He was one of the first guys off the bench, and we've talked about there's clearly a few flaws in his game, particularly on the defensive end and the one-on-one side of things, and him getting kind of cooked off the dribble and kind of bodied towards the rim by not even that much bigger defenders seems to be something that sticks out. I thought he did a better job of staying in front of guys for the most part. Still a lot of work to do there, but the improvement is there to be seen.
Yeah, I thought he settled in defensively. We got a extendo arm deflection in transition when he was running back. That's the kind of stuff that he's going to have to do in order to be good defensively to start, because the defense is a little tricky right now. I'm being nice. A little rough at times. He's getting beaten off the dribble and he's getting bullied. That's just going to be a thing that I think happens. So he's going to have to make up for it defensively in other ways, and I thought that he did that tonight. He did a better job for sure at staying in front of guys as the game went along. And I do think that's possible as well. He's just got to either make two choices. One, get more into guys, or get back a little bit. Get into guys and get handsy with them, and so they're a little bit off balance, or take a step back and use his length to recover if they decide to pull in his face. Because right now it feels like what he's capable of, he's stuck in no man's land a little bit. Yeah. But the big takeaway for sure is where he seems to be in the pecking order on this team. So tonight you don't have Drew Holiday, Sam Hauser, obviously no Porzingis, but so on a night you might be missing two of the top guys, and Walsh was in the 8-man rotation essentially. It was Tillman, Kornet, and Walsh off the bench essentially. Cater got in there a little bit as well, but now we're at four bigs when you include Cater. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Cater if you've got Horford, Kornet, and Tillman available. So Walsh was kind of like that next perimeter guy off the bench, and that's becoming a real thing. I think as it stands right now, if they go 10 deep into a rotation, it's going to be Jordan Walsh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in that O'Shea Brissett spot, which was used sparingly throughout the regular season. So that's not to say that we're going to see him opening night, but we were talking about this in the playback. The subsequent games after opening night are chill games, if you want to call them that, against the Wizards and the Pistons. That maybe is, if we want to be conservative with minutes early on, which, we played into June. Some guys played the Olympics. We probably do want to be conservative. You might see Jordan Walsh that early, but tonight he was in that Hauser spot, so we got to see him a lot more. And as people who have set up camp early on Walsh Island, starting to get the infrastructure set up, we've got boatloads of the first settlers coming in to join us on Walsh Island. You love to see him get that Hauser spot, but I don't think we saw O'Shea Brissett on opening night last year, or if we did, it was quite sparingly. So I think we can pretty much expect the same for Walshy, but just we've come a long way even from Summer League, Jake, where it was like, geez, he's going to be on the team. And now it's like clearly a pretty firm rotation spot. So what an ascendance.
It's hard to believe. I mean, we haven't even talked about, the moment of the game, which we
one?
can run. Well, yeah, true. I mean, we almost had we legit almost had a Walshy game winner.
I know.
And
God.
we were so close, but we did get the, where is it here? We got it. Here it is. Walshy tying it up. Let's go, JT. Oh, come back. Here we go. Find him. Go downhill, Walsh. Uh-oh. Yep, set that screen. Oh, Walsh.
You're going to have to shoot.
Make something out of nothing, dude.
Oh, Walshy!
Yes! Come on!
This is next level. You want to know?
The fellas.
The in unison Walshy as Jordan Walsh creates magic out of nothing, extends the arms to finish at the rim with the contest closing on him. It's just awesome, dude. Like, we've seen the game completely slow down for him. And this is something that you can kind of envision when you see him be able to dribble a little bit, be able to, handle the ball. It's like, can you get downhill, use those long arms to finish at the rim? And yeah, like if you go to what would have been the game winner, like he just needed to maybe take one more dribble and try and dunk it, or get to 2 feet and then try and kind of pump fake, because he kind of committed like really far away to essentially the exact same move as the previous play. And the Raptors, their 2K created giant tall white guy was ready for him.
Rick Smith Jr.
He was ready for him at the rim. But man, like he didn't have like a big statistical game like he did last game. Only 7 points. He hit another big three. Again, 1 for 3 from 3. If he's able to kind of just do that, that's like all they really need. Can you help them go like a 33% 3-point baseline, like, and just be willing? You got to be willing to take the shots. You cannot pass up open looks, and he made another big one, 3 rebounds, another offensive one, another steal. Like, he just looks really comfortable out there. And
he does.
to see him get some minutes with like the main, like the regulars, that's and look comfortable and look solid. I think different learning curve against some more tricky opponents, but the Raptors are an example of a team where he probably might get in. There might be a spot in the rotation where we are resting guys. And Z Gamer was like, whenever there's one of the perimeter guys out, that's probably when Walsh gets the minutes. Like when there's Jaylen, Jayson, Derek, Drew, Hauser, Pritchard, all available. The idea of Walsh getting in there when you could just scale up Hauser, it's like, what are we really doing? Like, that doesn't seem something that we're going to do. But as we move through a season where Drew Holiday doesn't play tonight, as you and Spoonie and others have hypothesized that maybe we don't see as much Drew as the guy that is a bit older in that perimeter group. Do they try and get him some more rest? Because having him fresh for the playoffs is going to be super important. Walsh can be that guy. We've come a long way. It's exciting.
Yeah, dude, we've come such a long way in such a short amount of time. Like harking back to Summer League, where it was nightmare stuff. But I guess another thing about Walshy, and we could really talk a whole hour about this guy, but just 6 attempts in his 25 minutes, like just taking the game as it comes to him as well, not forcing anything, but still like looks like he has a nose for the shot. Like he looks really confident letting that 3-point shot fly, which is really good to see. Just getting to the game in general. Yeah. Raptors come out, like I said, we got dicked. They went super hot early. Everyone was, I think, Grady Dick and Scotty Barnes were like, I don't know, was it 9 of 11 from 3 early in this game? And they sort of continued that through the entirety of the first quarter, and we went down 20 quite quickly. Start of the second quarter, the fellas come in. They look bouncier defensively. They look more engaged. The screen navigation has been ramped up. The help defense is there. The rotations are really on point. And suddenly we start to chip away at this thing. And it was one thing I didn't realize I missed so much about the Celtics was this sense of euphoria that you get watching them when these certain moments happen. It gives you this feeling that, for me, only really the Celtics can give me. And I think a lot of people who view the Celtics through that lens and sort of experience the fandom that way have gravitated towards watching this show, I hope at least. And Tatum's second quarter, the way that he came in, and orchestrated everything on both ends and really just like controlled the game on all levels, playmaking, defensively. His three ball was going down. He just looked like kind of that best version of Tatum that you hope to see on any given night. And he led this like squadron back to cut it to, I don't know what it was by the end of the half, but it was quite close. And it was really just the first glimpse, I think, of the best version of Tatum we've seen since Game 5 of the finals, which was really exciting.
Yeah, dude, he was awesome in the second quarter. And that's the Tatum, that's the actualized version of Tatum, it feels like. We're getting the orchestrator. And so 8 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. That's the number. And the way that he controls the game now is really, really impressive. Plus 21 in the second quarter alone. Like, wow. They just were so incredible in that second quarter. And Tatum, the three ball was going down. He ends up finishing the game with like 5 for 14 from 3. There was a point where he was 4 for 10, and then he just like started jacking nonsense up. And I was like, dude, we're trying to get the field goal percentage up so we can post your field goal percentage on the internet. You're not helping our case here. But that second quarter was so impressive. And I thought, like, of the starters, he was really the only one that played well. I mean, outside of Payton Pritchard, I guess. But like of like the regular actual starters, Tatum, Jaylen, Horford, Derek, I thought that Jaylen started well, and then we got evil Jaylen, which we can talk about. But Tatum for the game, 24, 7, and 6 with 3 steals. Like he, not just on offense, but defensively, he cranked it up in the second quarter as well.
Yeah, I want to get to evil Jaylen Brown in a second, but while we're on Tatum, we got to get to this amazing facial.
Tatum has Chris Boucher, likes that. Oh! Launches it on your head. Going to the rack. 7-0 run by the Celtics.
Poor Bruno Fernando, man. He got fucking axed at the rim.
Celtics legend got posterized there, man. Like, it was funny. Tatum used the pull-up 3 to set up the hammer, and this is it's been a 7-year long con. This is what it's going to be. He's been putting film on tape to show everybody how much he loves the pull-up 3, and now he's just weaponizing it into Giannis Antetokounmpo. But yeah, like that's why he's going to take the threes though, because
totally, like
people are ready, especially he's going to make the threes as well. But he just destroyed. That's one of Tatum's like best dunks kind of ever. Like that was a straight up just like the guy. It was perfect. Bruno jumped just like a split second late where he couldn't actually contest it properly, but it looked like Tatum just put him into the grave. It was perfect. And like in the midst of like the Celtics making a comeback as well, it was, okay. Yeah. Tatum's here. Tatum's ready, got some juice for us.
It looked like he kind of like Super Mario, like bopped him on the head, pushed him back down to the ground kind of thing. It was total annihilation. Evil Jaylen Brown. This was a tough one. Actually, early in the game, he came out and was doing like cool Jaylen things, like being, showing his strength, getting guys under the basket and just like finishing over them and just like winning as the strongest person on the court. And then quickly after that, he just completely rescinded into old school, evil, bad habits, Jaylen Brown, where I lost count of the amount of times he got cut back door rather. The turnovers, the sort of being stripped while he's posting up and not sort of being cognizant of the defenders around him. Really, the entire bingo card of like the things that Jaylen Brown was awful at like 1 to 2 years ago, or 2 to 3 years ago. It was tough.
Yeah, man. The first quarter, 4 for 7, got to the line. He shot 4 free throws, 11 points, and then it just goes downhill 2 for 4. Still okay. No turnovers, but then the third quarter is just 0 for 4, 3 turnovers. That's really where he went downhill, was that third quarter. We can just shrug it off as preseason, because he's been so dominant through the entire preseason and going back to the playoffs and going back to after the All-Star break. So we're not gonna read into it, but there's going to be moments like this, like the first half of Game 3 of the NBA Finals. People forget he had a bit of an evil Jaylen moment, but Jayson Tatum carried the boys through that one. So, he's not perfect, as Tatum isn't, and some of these guys aren't as well. So we can just
move on.
Acknowledge it. We're acknowledging it, and we're letting it go. We're letting it wash down the stream, And that's how it works when it comes to Jaylen Brown, because he's earned that at this point.
Yeah, I like that. I'm happy to leave it there. What else stood out to you, I guess, with the starters in this game, Jake?
I enjoyed just seeing Al Horford run up and down. That was
beautiful,
fun.
man.
That's about all he did, really. I wouldn't say
Cardio.
Yeah, but that was the point. We want Al Horford out there just getting fresh. It sounds like they've been pretty light with Al Horford's work so far. Like in the post game, he's like, yeah, it felt good to get out there. Body felt good. Wind felt good. Continue to ramp up for next week. And that's the kind of stuff we want to hear. That's the stuff you want to hear from your 38-year-old veteran and not your 30-year-old like superstar. Like if you're going to contrast it with someone like Joel Embiid, right? Like he's our 38-year-old dude that we need for the playoffs. And we're going to bring him along slowly. And, you know, he had a few nice looks. His first three from the top of the key went in and out. And it's like, that could have been, maybe he made a couple from there. He had a nice little post-up move and got that one to go. But for the most part, it was just nice to see the beautiful eyes and see him run up and down the court with any issues.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. 23 minutes on the night as well, which is probably about what you'd like to keep him at through the regular season. I think I'm just looking down the minutes of everyone on the roster. Tatum played 34, Jaylen 25. Probably could have played more, but I think maybe Joe took pity on him and was like, all right, buddy, I think it's time to sit down.
I think Tatum tried to stay in there for a bit. He was like coming out, and then he sent Jordan Walsh back to the bench, which was interesting.
I think he has an earpiece where it's like Drew Hanlon just telling him what his three-point percentage is, and you need to stay in and hit one more, buddy, and then you can sit down. Derek White started off pretty cold. It was hot later in the game, and he was really the sole starter on the court towards the end of the game, along with Jayson Tatum, to sort of keep things humming there. He had a decent second half. Payton Pritchard. Just what else can you say? Like I know his shooting stats and percentages don't really tell like the story of this game for him, but he just looks so comfortable out there, no matter the personnel he's with.
Dude, another 5 for 10 for three. He came into the game, I think 16 for 33 from the 3-point line, 48.5%, and then he follows that up with 10 more 3-point attempts and goes 5 for 10. Like this dude is just locked in right now. Like I mean, it'd be great if he can carry this into the regular season because he shot the ball fine last year, but he didn't shoot the ball like at an elite level in a way that we know that he's capable of last season. It would be great if he could have his, 40+% season at some point, as well. Like I feel like he's due for that, the way that shooting kind of goes. So it would be great if he could be someone who comes in and it's like, not only are you dealing with Sam Hauser shooting 42%, but you're also dealing with Payton Pritchard shooting 42%, while he also, and again, 3 rebounds today. He was battling on the boards, got a couple steals as well today. This is like kind of like a grudge match for him. If you harken back to Summer League where the Celtics made the finals, Celtics Sacramento Kings, Davion Mitchell as a rookie, Davion kind of locked him up. Davion Mitchell's like the perfect type of defender that Payton Pritchard has trouble with. Like small, stout, athletic. Like Pritchard doesn't really have the tools to break him down off the dribble, which is why, just off the top of my head, late in the game, Jordan Walsh and Baylor Sheierman actually were able to create stuff off of Payton Pritchard. And I don't know, Baylor. This is the best 6 minutes we've seen from Baylor Sheierman as a Celtic.
You're so excited, man. I'm surprised you haven't got this clip from the playback. As for those who weren't there, Jake was having a field day with the Sheierman experience, just because we talk. Yeah, I mean it was fun. Like we talk about how he's a feel guy and he needs to use his feel to succeed in the pros. It's not going to be his athleticism that or like raw talent that he gets by on. And he was feeling his way to the free throw line a couple of times. I thought he looked like pretty clumsy, like kind of tripping over his feet on his way there, but he got to the line, and it was at a time where there was a massive scoring drought. We were looking for someone to manufacture those magical moments, and it was the Shire man, fresh from the Shire, with his little wizard's stick, manufacturing those magical moments.
I'm here to save the day.
Don't help us, especially not me. I'm getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, man.
Look, that was cool. It was good to see.
Maybe that's what he looks like, though. We don't really know. Maybe he just looks clumsy when he's getting downhill. It's possible that's just what he looks like. Look, I just thought it was, he didn't take any threes today, but he got to the line and got crafty with a couple of pump fakes, pivots, in a time where they needed it. We were trying to get this win late in the game, trying to make something happen, and he was confident, he was aggressive. Considering how bad it has looked prior to this throughout the preseason, that's why I was excited. I was like, good, look at this guy. The 3 ball, he's been taking some really tough shots. They haven't been falling. Let's use the girth, man. Got his shoulders, down, got towards the rim, and then he self-awareness, knew that he wasn't going to be able to finish over the top of some of these guys because of the lack of athleticism. Got downhill, got to a good spot, pivot, pump fake, little grift. I liked it. There's
Use
not
the
much
girth.
else to say.
There's a t-shirt there.
Use the girth. Baylor Sheierman, use the girth. But
Love it.
look, the stat line, the box score is quite funny because it's pretty much zeros across the board besides 4 for 4 from the free throw line and a personal foul. But those are free throws. Jack Simone, welcome to the show. Well, I was literally about to bring this up. I'm not just doing this because you are here.
Oh, here we
Xavier,
go.
Xavier
Yes.
Tillman was next on my list. And again, I don't want Xavier Tillman to miss threes. I want him to make every three. I want him to continue to shoot 75% from the three-point line. Today, 0 for 3 from 3. He got hesitant in a spot, late shot clock, where that was the one spot that he had to take a three. He was like late shot clock, and then he pump faked out of it and ended up being like a shot clock violation. I thought the shot still looked good. I thought they were close. They weren't like bricks or anything. I thought Tillman still played well, but he missed his threes. He missed his threes.
Yeah, there's too many talking heads on niche, deep Celtics YouTube and Twitter that are in his head and stopping him from just feeling the flow and doing the bull dance or whatever he says on Happy Gilmore. So I think the shot is probably clearly it has been demonstrated to have improved over the offseason. This was obviously a downturn in that narrative that everyone but you, Jake, is pushing really, really hard. I'm joking. So I don't know. It's a tough one, but I think obviously it's within the flow of the game for Tillman to take those shots when they come to him. We saw a lot of Tillman at the 4 tonight as well. In fact, we saw a lot of double big rotation combinations in this one. So he's hopefully going to continue to feel good about taking those shots when they come to him. Everyone has an off night, even lethal shooters like Xavier Tillman. So I'm not giving up my belief on his deep range shot, but it was certainly a regression to the mean.
Yeah, but he still played great, I thought.
Absolutely,
the 3-point shot didn't go down, but he did a lot of great stuff tonight. Yeah, 3 offensive rebounds, 8 overall, 2 assists, a steal, a block. Yeah, excellent block, and he had incredible big-to-big interior passing, like 2-man game with Kornet, dude. Like, spacing, the easiest way to create spacing is by being a good shooter. Like, that's obvious, right? But Tillman and Luke Kornet, high IQ, good passes. They can, like, feel their way around the dunker spot area in that low floater range spot and still create spacing by just hanging around dangerous spots, creating advantages. Tillman had a really good pump fake into a post up, and I forget if that's where the dump off to Luke Kornet was, but that was like one of the greatest things. I'll see if I can like just pull it up here because I think he only had 2 assists, so I should be able to pull it up here. But I was blown away by it's a Luke Kornet cutting layup shot. Here we go. We got Tillman posting up on Mugbo. Luke Kornet comes into the dunker spot because Tillman gets into a dangerous spot. Tillman's a thick boy. He's got a lot of strength. If he's going to play the 4 as well, he's going to have some guys on him that he can put in the basket. And that's another way for Tillman to create advantages and be impactful. And then help comes over. It's going to be the big man, Luke Kornet. Smart IQ, soft as hands since Tyler Zeller. Finishes it up. It's beautiful.
He's like an underrated cutter as well. I didn't really know that about his game last year, but it's certainly been put on display in the preseason. If he has got that synergy with Tillman as well, like those guys both on minimum deals. Tillman somehow locked up for 2 years on the minimum, which is just insane. It's so easy to forget looking at his face that he's only 25 or 26 years old, but that is a fact. Good to see. We've got, I guess, a lot more to get to, but we don't have to run ads on late night, fortunately, but we should plug some stuff. We were talking about this offline earlier today. Go and subscribe to the audio podcast. All the effort that we put into building the YouTube channel, which is building at a nice pace. We've neglected, I think, the audio feed a little bit, which does fine. But if you like the show, if you want to support the show, if you want to listen to anything we ever put up on YouTube in audio form while you're out commuting, at the gym, wherever it may be, I certainly do not watch YouTube podcasts. I'm like 100% audio
Interesting.
all the time. So subscribe to the audio pod. And one thing we have the advantage of is we download all the audio from these streams. We treat them in Adobe Premiere, maybe add a little AI enhancement there, and then
These
chuck it up on the
terrible
audio
voices
feed.
get real good.
I know I can hear my own reverb in my headphones right now, and it's killing me. So I can't wait to strike that out and put it up on the audio feed. So definitely subscribe there. Of course, there's the Patreon. There's all of our links are in the description below, Jake.
Yeah, dude. Look, you don't need to listen to the audio pod, but just go on there, like it or follow it, and then leave us a 5-star rating. That's all you need to do as we continue this first to the floor takeover. But yeah, man, get on the Patreon. Oh, first, we're going to start the Fantasy Basketball League. We have enough of you that have signed up to the Fantasy Basketball tier. So just sign up to the league. Maybe we need to put another, just a link to the league out there. But we're going to do the draft soon. So make sure you sign up to the Patreon. So you get in the Discord. It's good times, good vibes all the time. But get in the Fantasy Basketball League. Going to live stream that. Just support us. Like the stream right now. Use that little finger you got right there. Jump on over. Hit the like button. Just wiggle it over. From this game though? Oh, we got to talk about JD Davison.
We do. Maybe we can run the play and then react to that. Here we go.
Harper to inbound. Data sets the screen. Davison didn't take the shot. Now he does and hits. Big shot. Celtics take the lead. He chucked it up there for the 2-for-1 bonus.
I kind of can't believe he hit that.
Hey,
I'm glad we went to him because by that point in the game, he was kind of cooking a little bit. He had the 4-point play earlier too. But I hate to go here, but do we need to circle back on the 15th roster spot? I know we've kind of got him secured on a 2-way, so we don't have to make any sort of rash, rapid, reactive moves. But I don't know. He looked pretty good. And if we are going to be playing Drew less throughout the regular season, do we need just a little touch more depth at guard? I'm overreacting. Forgive me.
No, please. This is what it's all about. 12 fourth quarter points in a tight game. It was very impressive.
Clutch.
Hey man, I would love JD to develop into an NBA player. I feel like that would be a really a crowning development achievement because he's been in the system for a while. He obviously goes 2 for 2 from 3 today. He needs to be able to shoot at a competent level for him to really make it, I think. Mm-hmm. But he was getting in his Ja Morant bag, getting to the line, 5 free throw attempts in the fourth quarter. He's been nailed. He's from the line. It's too bad he missed that one that we kind of needed in a game that we lost by 1. But he was the only reason we were kind of in the game either. That was a big nut shot, dude. I was in the playback. I was like, no, okay, and in it went. But you don't know. He's not the guy you waste in the 15th roster spot on it. Him on a 2-way is perfect. And if you get injuries, then maybe he comes up. But I think this is his last year on.
It is.
Yeah. So I hope he's not on the team. Just because I hope that Lonnie Walker is the person that ends up getting his roster spot long term, and maybe we pivot to Lonnie after this. And but JD Davison, he's gonna always have a special place in my heart. And it's too bad they didn't get the win because that would have been a big JD Davison moment in true sicko Celtic lore. Is in everybody that's in this chat right now. You sickos, because you're never going to forget the JD Davison that Jordan Walsh almost comeback win over the Toronto Raptors in the last preseason game. It's beautiful.
If only Walsh had just dunked it. He was right there. He just had to go off 2 feet, just slam it over Rick Smits Jr.'s head. Yeah. It was right. Easier said than done, obviously, as an old guy sitting on my couch at home. But anyway, we digress. Did we talk enough about Luke Kornet, or do you want to get to the Lonnie Walker stuff?
Luke Kornet's just... had nothing to say, man. Just solid. Just good again, man. He's a straight up good player. And
starting center caliber.
Starting caliber. I think we've got to see it in the regular season, but I think I'm starting to open to the idea that I can put him in the same category as Daniel Tice, the year they went to the bubble, to the conference finals in the bubble. That's the level I think he's maybe getting to, where it's okay, if he's going to be a starting center, the talent around him is good enough, and he's, I don't even know who Rick Smits Jr. is, man.
He's just an archetype. That's all. That's all he is. He's a theory.
Yeah, he's a theory. He came to fruition for a split second there and took down Jordan Walsh. But yeah, I
That's
think
right.
Luke Kornet's coming to that level. But I want to see the regular season where he's playing like legit consistent. He's going to be playing maybe like 20 minutes a night. And I'm confident in him. I'm really confident in what we're going to get from Luke in the regular season. But yeah, I want to see it. I want to see him continue to battle. The rebounding's been really good. But yeah, I don't think we need to say too much about Luke. Do you think it means anything for opening night? Because we've been hearing about, Al Horford maybe coming off the bench. Al Horford starts tonight with the regulars, and Luke Kornet doesn't.
No, I mean, I think if Al Horford came off the bench again tonight, then it would have been a clear indication. But the fact that it's like he's back, he's playing, and he's starting means he is the starter. So I think that pretty much just ends that conversation.
Also, you think there is an indication that it is Al Horford?
I think that Al Horford will start. Yeah,
Okay.
in lieu of Kristaps Porzingis coming back. I just think because Kornet, Tillman, the whole big man rotation played today. I think that you can address the conditioning ramp up side of things with Horford while not taking him out of what will be his like regular rotation rhythm. I think so. The fact that he started, I think we're going to run it back last year with Al Horford starting. So I don't know. Do you disagree?
I don't disagree. I think on opening night, Al Horford will be the starting center. Will Al Horford be the starting center against the Wizards and the Pistons?
Will he play?
Good question. I think he'll play. I mean, like I think he's going to keep playing unless there's back-to-backs or like 4 and 5 night type things. Otherwise, I think he's going to keep playing. You want him to be in shape and in rhythm. So keeping the minutes off him that way, I think is fine. But yeah, I think he's going to start opening night, which I think's the right decision, really.
Hell yeah. Space the floor, hit some of those threes. Yeah. Like you said, that first one rimmed out to begin this game. Get your rhythm going between now and the next week and knock those down. Force Karl Anthony Towns to second guess, his existence, his life every second that he's on the court with you. The 15th spot, like, do we have more data that we can circle back on? Obviously, we didn't see Lonnie Walker at all. If he was trending towards a rotation spot, you would imagine that he would have made an appearance tonight. We didn't see him whatsoever. We also didn't see Drew Peterson, Littlefoot. So I don't know. Where do these data points sort of take your mind as far as how that might turn out?
I was trying to extrapolate it a little bit tonight where I was like, okay, the people that didn't play tonight, are they like all guaranteed? Because like Hauser, guaranteed. Drew Holiday, guaranteed. Jaden Springer has a guaranteed contract. Dimitro doesn't have a two-way, but he's like a guarantee to be on the G League team. The only one that's like not a guarantee that didn't play today is Jay Scrubb, but I feel like the ship kind of just sailed on him. I'm kind of, I'm getting loose and fast with my theory here. And then I was like, okay, Ron Harper Jr., they wanted to at least let him have one get something on tape so people could look at it. But like, I think I'm kind of clutching at straws here. I don't think it means anything one way or the other. I don't know what to expect. Do you want to try and make a prediction? I hope that they just put him on. Like, I hope that it's just Sunday, or is it Saturday? I think it's Saturday ET Eastern time. We're gonna get an announcement at like 5 p.m. That's the cutoff. I hope the announcement is Lonnie Walker has been signed to a veterans minimum on the Boston Celtics.
So do I. That's not what I predict, though.
It's not what I predict either.
Too many people who have proximity to the team, Jack Simone included, who was in the chat, Noah Dalzell, Bobby Manning, John Corrales, everyone who is sort of circling around the team from a media perspective, all have the same notion. And you get the sense that maybe there's been some off-the-record discussions there for all of them to just be so locked in to that notion that Lonnie Walker is not going to end up signed to a spot, that the tax bill will just be too steep. Perhaps there's an outside chance that we move off of Springer's deal. I wonder if Brad Stevens is like lurking in various WhatsApp chats with other Pobos to see if he can get a second round pick off somebody in exchange for Jaden Springer. But there would be quite a tax penalty to signing Lonnie Walker at this point in time. So I wonder if there's some maneuvering that has to occur before that happens. But by all accounts, it just sounds like he's going to end up in Maine, which I still cannot believe. a player of his caliber might be the greatest indication of players who are sort of within that mid-range salary bandwidth are sort of being hurt by the new CBA, the fact that he can't find a deal anywhere. So sounds like he's going to end up in Maine. That's just what too many people are saying for me to now not believe that, which is crazy. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if he's in Maine and he gets offered a deal by another franchise, we're talking about this the other day and I've completely forgotten what the outcome of that discussion was. Do we get priority? Can we then go and say, okay, we'll offer you that same amount and bring you back to the main Celtics team?
My understanding is that if like it would, he's like a free agent now. And so if someone comes with an offer, Lonnie can go to Brad and be like, hey, I've got a legitimate $2.6 million veterans minimum offer to go play with the Pistons. Will you match it?
Right.
And
okay.
if not, I believe that's the case. I could be wrong.
But he'd be doing us a courtesy, right? Like he doesn't have to do that?
No, I don't think so. No, of course.
Okay, right.
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. I think they would have to, it'd be a conversation, Jack Simone. I don't think it's a priority necessarily, but they would obviously have to speak to Maine, etc. So, but again, there's a reason he's not on a team right now. There's a reason he signed an Exhibit 10. Like, there are just not a lot of roster spots available. That's the first part. And there's clearly not a genuine belief in him as an NBA player around the NBA. Otherwise, he'd be on a team. I'll ask you this. Would you trade Jaden Springer to the Detroit Pistons if you had to attach your 2025 second-round pick, which is currently the worst of Washington, Golden State, Dallas, or Detroit? Actually, I don't even know how to... the protections and route of this pick are so confusing. But Washington, Golden State, Dallas, Detroit. Doesn't matter. Let's just say it's let's say it's the 43rd overall pick. I'm just pulling that out of my butt. Would you trade the 43rd overall pick and Jaden Springer to the Pistons because that means that you get to keep Lonnie Walker?
If it meant we got to keep Lonnie, yes. I just think we've got a pretty deep roster. We've got a lot of guys who are sort of defense first and have sort of subsequently developed a shot, and it looks like Walshy is coming up along that lane also. I don't think we really have room, rotationally speaking, for Jaden Springer. That said, even if we do get rid of him and add Lonnie Walker instead, it's not like we have an abundance of minutes for him either. I just think if there is an injury to one of our top 8, I like what Lonnie Walker can give us. He has at least one proven NBA skill. I don't really think Jaden Springer has any, unfortunately. The defense is probably the biggest calling card, but I don't think that's been exhibited enough for me to truly believe in it. Whereas it's at least you know what you're getting from Lonnie. Maybe he can come around, with the Missoula tutelage on the defensive side. So yeah, I think I do make that move. But I think that Brad Stevens values second round picks a lot more than I do.
Yeah, I'm just looking at what we got available. Like next year, we own our own pick, so it's unlikely that we would be moving that first round pick in any type of trade. That's the main argument for keeping Jaden Springer, is that you have one $4 million contract, and you can attach that $4 million contract plus a pick to someone down the line at the deadline after you see how the team goes. If an injury pops up, if there is a real need, as opposed to right now, Lonnie Walker is just like the straight up definition of a luxury. You do not need him. Him being on the team does not change your chances of winning the title more than like a percentage, like a decimal of a percentage, like 0.1%. I don't know if he's moving the needle that much. So I'm not sure you can make the argument for keeping him if you have that in your back pocket if you keep Jaden Springer on the team, because you have that $4 million salary plus the first round pick if you need to actually make a move for a more of an impact player if something bad happens or if something better pops up. Plus you have the option of just keeping Lonnie long term. That still might happen if no one picks him up.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, you might be able to have your cake and eat it too there. Yeah, really, you've got to answer the question of what's more valuable to the longevity of this team, having $4 million to play with as a trade asset come the deadline, or just the known entity in the Lonnie Walker scoring punch. Some might say a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush, which is something that my father-in-law says a lot, which I only recently understood the meaning of. But I think that applies here.
A bird in the hand, it's a classic. And
that's what Lonnie is right now. He's a bird in the hand. So
Beautiful
fortunately, we don't have to make these decisions. We can just speculate wildly upon them all preseason and going into the season. And maybe that is something, the Springer trade piece is something that we're tracking, and we're shortlisting all the players that might fit into that $4 million spot throughout the regular season. But I think I've pretty much cooked my little non-run sheet here, Jake. So unless you've got anything else, we do have our Patreon pod coming up tomorrow, which we figured out how to stream live. So that'll be streaming live on our Patreon page. The following night, Thursday night ET, we've got Corner Trey from Celtics Twitter coming on the show. First ever appearance, which should be a lot of fun. Any parting words for the chat here, Jake?
No, man, this is a good preseason. We'll have some more like end of preseason, I think, takes, and there'll be some news, maybe some broader NBA stuff later in the week. But tomorrow, we're looking at maybe doing like the Schadenfreude episode. So what are we looking out for Schadenfreude wise for the season? And so, that can be, an example is, are we now Minnesota Timberwolves fans?
Allies.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And so that's a little taster. That's kind of the conversation we might be having tomorrow. And so sign up to the Patreon to get that one. And then we'll do another episode the next day. We're full steam ahead, man. 1 week to go.
Yeah, regular season form. And the next time we see the fellas, they're going to be raising a banner in TD Garden, which we can't wait to see. And we'll obviously be live on playback.tv/Celtics blog for all of that and more. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Jake Eisenberg, love your work, man. Until next time, go Celts.